But it was clear to me that Justin was trying to get out. It was very clear to me that Justin wanted a new life for himself, but he didn't want to be controlled by people in Hollywood.
Stop. It's gonna be fine. It's like it's coming from my insides.
Right. So when he says in that clip, Justin Bieber speaking about Billie Eilish, and he says, I know that people will be around you and they'll say that they are your friends, and then they'll stab you in the back. That's what he's referring to. He's basically saying that there are all of these people that are pretending to love you and they don't actually love you.
Not good morning. You already know. Why are you here? You already know. You just want money. Money, 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 money. Money, get out of here, bro. Money. That's all you want. You don't care about you.
Something's not right with Justin Bieber, and this time it's impossible to look away. The glossy image of the global pop sensation has started to unravel, and what's emerging behind the filtered posts and red carpet smiles is a young man who appears emotionally lost. It started with the occasional awkward paparazzi snap, eyes unfocused, posture slouched, but then came the cryptic Instagram posts, the disjointed captions, the rambling monologues, and suddenly Justin's feed started reading less like a pop star's social media and more like a digital diary of someone crying out for help. What makes it even more unsettling is how frequently Hailey Bieber ends up in the middle of this storm. As Justin's behavior becomes more erratic, more eyes turn to her, expecting answers, expecting grace, expecting her to somehow fix whatever is breaking behind the scenes. And now the word conservatorship has entered the chat. That one word, heavy with controversy, trauma, and legal control, has fans flashing back to the darkest days of Britney Spears and Wendy Williams. Could Hailey actually be preparing to take legal control of Justin's life? And if so, what does that say about how far he's fallen? One moment he's sharing a photo of himself in a cluttered, grimy bathroom. The next he's asking AI whether ketamine can help regulate his emotions. The shift hasn't been subtle, it's been a nosedive. For fans who grew up with Justin, watching him now feels like witnessing someone slipping through their own fingers. And as the posts grow stranger, the headlines sharper, and the public tension between him and Hailey louder, one thing's become painfully clear. This isn't just a bad week. This might be a full-on unraveling, and no one knows how far it will go.
And he just looked slightly out of it. There were paparazzi, obviously, everywhere, as there always are with him. He didn't look a happy guy. He looked like someone with the weight of the world.
I'm a father. I'm a dad. I'm a father. I'm a dad.
I understand that.
And you guys are on private property in front of my car.
I understand that.
No, you don't understand, or else you wouldn't be here.
The whispers started small, just a few speculative articles suggesting Justin might need intervention. But lately, the whispers have turned into sirens. Headlines are now openly discussing the possibility of Hailey stepping in legally. Not just as a supportive spouse, but as someone who could be granted the power to make decisions on Justin's behalf. His health, his money, even their child.
I can tell she want me bad, bad, bad.
That's the kind of legal grip a conservatorship allows, and it doesn't get there without proof that someone has truly lost control of their life. What's got fans so alarmed is how familiar this all feels. Anyone who followed Britney's fight to escape her conservatorship knows just how slippery this slope can be. First, the public meltdowns. Then, the narrative of being unfit. Eventually, legal power gets handed over, often to the very people who benefited from that person's downfall. California may have tightened the rules since Britney's case, but if a judge believes Justin is incapable of caring for himself, the gates could still open. especially if someone close, like Hailey or even his mom, pushes for it. And let's be real, there have been signs. The on-stage blank stares, the out-of-nowhere rants on loyalty and love, photos that seem less like creative expression and more like distress signals. It's enough to get even legal experts talking, and once the legal community starts speculating, you know the situation has crossed a line. But what makes this all even more complicated? Justin's not alone. He has a wife, a baby, and a very public past. So if a conservatorship is truly on the table, it won't just affect his career, it could rewrite the entire future of his family.
Because I'm not to be with by any of you, including you, including any of you guys. No, stop that.
Hey, don't
You
hit
don't
that guy.
get to talk to me
You don't
today.
need to hit him.
No. He's my friend.
He did not hit me.
He's my friend,
He
bro.
didn't hit me.
All of you guys are my friends.
making a statement.
No.
That's it.
You're not gonna do this today. No, you don't get to ask me questions.
Why not?
Because
Hailey Bieber didn't sign up for this, at least not in the way it's playing out now. When she married Justin, she was stepping into the life of a global icon. She probably expected whirlwind tours, red carpets, and maybe the occasional rough patch. But instead, she's been handed the emotional weight of a man unraveling in the spotlight. For years, she's played the silent supporter, standing behind him while the world either trashed her or blamed her every time he spiraled. But now it's becoming clear that even Hailey has limits. Insiders have whispered that after their baby arrived, something shifted. Hailey's focus had to change. She wasn't just Justin's emotional life raft anymore. There was a child to protect. And while fans expected her to keep Justin in check, she was quietly drowning under the pressure of trying to hold everything together. There's only so long someone can play therapist, wife, brand ambassador, and new mother, especially when the person you love is crashing publicly and privately at the same time. Remember that moment when Justin looked out of it on stage during a surprise performance with SZA? Fans instantly turned on Hailey, asking why she let him get up there like that, as if she's his handler. But that's the burden she's carried, being blamed for his pain and expected to fix it. And while she's tried to bring him back to his prime, the stadium-selling, chart-topping version of himself, it's become clear that Justin isn't the same man anymore. Maybe he can come back, or maybe she's starting to realize she can't be the one to rescue him this time. Something feels off. And not just with Justin's behavior. More and more fans are starting to question why he keeps getting photographed in his lowest moments, slumped over in cafes, zoned out on sidewalks, staring into nothing with red-rimmed eyes. It's almost too perfect, or rather too convenient, how the paparazzi always seem to know exactly where he is when he's at his worst. And that sparked a darker theory. What if someone close to him is tipping them off? This isn't just speculation. It's happened before. In celebrity circles, it's no secret that people from an artist's own team sometimes feed the media in exchange for attention, money, or leverage. And when it comes to public meltdowns, the more disheveled the star looks, the more valuable the shot becomes. For someone like Justin, who's already walking a fine line between fame and collapse, this kind of exposure could be weaponized. Every shaky photo, every disoriented moment adds to a case against his stability and makes it that much easier for a court to justify taking away his autonomy. Fans haven't forgotten the blueprint. They watched it happen to Britney. The sudden media frenzy, the swarm of cameras, the spiraling narrative until she was legally silenced and controlled. And now, people are wondering if Justin is being led into the same trap. After all, if he looks unstable enough, someone could step in and save him, even if that means stripping away his freedom. The fact that his low points are being captured so consistently is starting to feel less like coincidence and more like a carefully timed campaign. And that realization is sending chills through the fandom. If this all feels familiar, it's because it is, right down to the names involved. Fans were rattled when it came out that Justin once hired Lou Taylor, the same business manager who played a key role in Britney Spears' long and controversial conservatorship. The connection raised eyebrows instantly. Lou has been accused of helping orchestrate the kind of control that kept Britney from doing even the most basic things without permission, from driving her own car to buying snacks. And suddenly, her name was attached to Justin. Although that partnership didn't last long, the damage may have already been done. Around the same time, Justin made a decision that shocked everyone, selling off the rights to his music catalogue for $200 million. On paper, it looked like a savvy business move, but for fans who'd been following the Lou Taylor breadcrumbs, it set off major red flags. Why sell such a massive chunk of your legacy unless you're being pressured? Or worse, unless you're in financial trouble and someone convinced you it was the only way out. Even after Lou exited the picture, the ripple effects remained. Justin's career seemed to slow down. His public appearances got weirder, and his trust circle shrank. People close to him reportedly started disappearing from his team, replaced by new faces with unclear intentions. The whole situation began to feel like a repeat of a story we've already seen. A young star surrounded by yes people, isolated, erratic, and primed for someone to step in and take control for his own good. But if history's taught us anything, it's that this kind of control rarely ends well for the one being saved. Justin's Instagram has gone from curated stardom to emotional chaos, and it's been happening in plain sight. One minute he's holding his baby, the next he's lighting up in the same post. A quick scroll reveals bathroom selfies in grimy mirrors, scattered Bible verses, cryptic rants on love and loyalty, and deep, unfiltered confessions that feel less like art and more like breakdowns. The captions aren't edgy or promotional, they're raw, sometimes rambling, and often painful. One post asked why loyalty feels like manipulation. Another questioned the entire idea of transactional love. These aren't your typical celebrity musings. Then came the moment that really shook fans, a screenshot of Justin asking ChatGPT if ketamine could be used to manage emotions. Ketamine, while used in some modern therapy settings, is also a well-known party drug, and a dangerously misused one. It's been tied to tragedy in Hollywood circles before, including the death of Matthew Perry. So when Justin casually dropped that kind of search on his feed, people panicked. Was he looking into treatment or spiraling into something darker? Worse, the erratic posting hasn't stopped. In one post, he questioned the idea of people telling others what they deserve, hinting at frustration with Hailey or the public, or maybe both. In another, he suggested loyalty is just another word for fear-based control, likening it to mafia tactics. It's become a pattern. Cryptic, poetic captions, often laced with religious references, always followed by more questions than answers. Some fans are sympathetic, calling it an obvious cry for help. Others say it's emotional manipulation. Either way, the consensus is clear. Justin is not okay, and he's choosing to unravel in front of millions. While Justin's been unraveling publicly, Hailey has stayed noticeably quiet, but her silence is starting to say a lot. Her fans, once begging her to stick it out, are now encouraging her to walk away, especially after she secured a billion-dollar exit from her beauty brand. With financial independence no longer a question, people are asking why stay in a marriage that seems to be draining her emotionally. There are signs Hailey might be asking herself the same thing. She recently posted that she'd be in therapy all summer, then edited out the therapy part entirely. But screenshots live forever, and the internet caught it. It's not the first time she's tried to dial back a vulnerable moment. Whether it's pressure from PR or just emotional exhaustion, it's clear she's walking a tightrope. And after years of being the quiet rock beside Justin, she may finally be slipping under the weight. The tension between them has been leaking online for weeks. Justin's posts have been vague but sharp, questioning loyalty, praising other women, and ignoring Hailey when fans think she needs him most. On Mother's Day, his tribute to her was so short and cold it sparked outrage. Meanwhile, Hailey has been posting subtle messages of her own, ones that hint at burnout, therapy, and a growing distance. People are now saying she looks more like a co-parent than a partner, a caretaker raising 2 children, one in diapers and one emotionally stuck in crisis mode. If Hailey does leave, many believe she won't announce it dramatically. She'll just go, quietly, finally, and for good. And the more chaotic Justin becomes online, the more justified that choice starts to look. This might be the first breakup we've ever watched in real time. No press release, no official statement, just 2 people slowly coming apart on social media. Hailey posts a soft, sad selfie. Justin follows it up with a vague rant about emotional captivity. She deletes a caption referencing therapy. He drops another quote about how love shouldn't feel like a prison. It's like watching a slow-motion collision where nobody hits the brakes. Fans have taken sides, of course. Some see Justin as a tortured artist, misunderstood and abandoned. Others say he's emotionally volatile, and Hailey has every right to protect her peace. But regardless of who's right, the pattern is obvious. They're not on the same page anymore. Their energy doesn't match. Their public presence, once carefully aligned, is now jagged and tense. Every photo, every post, every carefully worded comment feels like a silent message aimed across a widening emotional battlefield. Then there's the music, or the lack of it. Justin's been posting shots from inside the studio, but nothing's coming out. No new hits, no real momentum. Just teasers and aesthetics with none of the fire he used to bring. It's as if the thing that once anchored him, the art, the performance, the purpose, has slipped away. And fans are starting to notice. Without music, what's left? The moody Instagram blurbs, the cryptic bathroom selfies, the spiritual quotes layered with pain. Some wonder if he's gearing up for a comeback, if all of this is just part of the messy process of transformation. But others fear it's something darker, a man unraveling while everyone watches, waiting for someone, anyone, to step in and pull him back. There's a reason people are uneasy. This doesn't just look like a celebrity going through a rough patch, it's beginning to feel manufactured. Too many paparazzi, too many perfectly timed meltdowns, too many public stumbles that seem orchestrated. The fear is that Justin is being guided, or worse, manipulated, into his own downfall. And the more chaotic he looks, the easier it becomes to make a legal case for someone else to take control. Fans can't shake the feeling that this is all building toward something. Maybe it's Hailey filing legal papers, maybe it's Justin disappearing for treatment, or maybe it's another bombshell moment, like when Britney was taken from her home in a stretcher while cameras flashed. We've seen this movie before. It never ends well. And what's scarier, Justin might not even realize it's happening, because for all his fame and wealth, Justin's still incredibly isolated. Surrounded by people who rarely challenge him, fed the things he wants instead of the things he needs. It's a dangerous place for anyone, especially someone with his history of trauma, pressure, and overexposure. And when no one's telling you the truth, when your circle is built more on access than honesty, the cracks deepen fast. Some say this isn't about Hailey at all. It's about a broken system that chews up young stars and spits them out when they're no longer useful. Hailey might just be the last one trying to keep him afloat. But she's clearly drowning too. And as much as fans want to see a happy ending, it's hard to ignore the signs that this is spiraling into something darker, something irreversible, unless someone, anyone, intervenes. So where does this all go? No one can say for sure, and that's the scariest part. Justin's not just a celebrity going through a rough patch. He's a young father, a husband, a global figure, and someone clearly in the middle of a mental health crisis. He doesn't need more likes or more headlines. He needs help. Real help. Not from enablers, not from opportunists, and not from people trying to manage him into submission. What he needs is genuine support, boundaries, and the kind of human healing that doesn't fit into a perfectly filtered Instagram grid. And as for Hailey, she deserves peace too. Whatever people think of her, whether they see her as a ride-or-die wife or a woman quietly planning her exit, it's undeniable that she's been through more than she signed up for. The constant criticism, the emotional labor, the pressure to carry someone else's chaos while still building her own life and image. Whether she stays or walks away, she has every right to choose herself. And maybe, just maybe, Justin needs someone to finally do that. Not out of betrayal, but out of love. Because this isn't about blame anymore. It's about survival. It's about seeing the signs before another headline turns into a memorial post. Justin's rants, his silence, his messiness, they all point to something deeper. Something that therapy, not fame, needs to fix. And while the internet is busy playing jury and judge, what this moment really calls for is compassion and a wake-up call to an industry that's failed too many like him. This isn't entertainment, it's a warning. And unless something changes, Justin Bieber may become another name on a growing list of artists who gave the world everything and lost themselves in the process.